All right. Okay, anyway, we're going to have the video, right?
Yeah, I'm going to show you guys a short video which capture our previous exhibition. Perhaps it's my first exhibition called Blind Date with Mona Lisa. So before I start the video, Beyond Vision project is focused on visually impaired people to create a platform for them to engage, to experience art, culture that's not often to be touched in a museum or gallery. So we create a platform, allow them to touch and experience. So yeah, please enjoy the video. To listen exactly what they touch. So for visually impaired people, if you are not allowed to touch, it's very little that you can know what's in the museum. So basically, we convert art pieces into a 3D printed model and also a tactile printing, which allowed to be touched. And there's buttons behind the tactile painting. And for all the tactile painting, you have 5 buttons on individual painting. And each button only describe individual part of the painting. For example, if I touch on a Mona Lisa face, it's only describe the eye, the smile. And if I touch on the hand, it's only describe how's the hand put together. So allow visually impaired people to build their mental image slowly. And we also engage with visually impaired people and to come to the exhibition. And also we provide workshop for them, for both visually impaired people and sighted people, to do a blind drawing. So they have to close their eyes, and then one hand they're touching themselves, the other hand they draw on the drawing paper. So that allowed them to connect their inner voice and the sense of touch, and then to express what's in their mind on the drawing paper. Yeah, those are the drawing. And this is a visually impaired people guy. And she's sighted, she can see, but then she have to close her eyes to draw. So the reason why she draws so slowly, because she has to do this. Like follow the movement, the motion. And this is done by a visually impaired lady. And then when they finish the drawing, we also printed a tactile version for them to touch. Otherwise, they will not know what they're drawing on the paper if it's not tactile. So allow them to share their drawing. And this also drawn by another visually impaired guy. So these are the 3 aspects we focus: inclusion, equality, and participation. And that's all.
Thank you, Rico. So what made you start the business at the very beginning?
Well, actually, this is part of my PhD studies. And I finished my study last November. But before I finished my study, I was thinking, instead of having my thesis sit in the library for the rest of its life, I have to do something in return, the favor, the help from the visually impaired people during my study, because they allowed me to talk to them, they allowed me to do the testing, and then tell me more about their day-to-day difficulty. So I set up this social enterprise so that I can continue serving them instead of, just a thesis. It do nothing. Yeah.
So what impact do you want to bring to the society or the community when you start this enterprise?
Yeah, as I show in the video, we focus on the three aspects: inclusion, equality, and participation. As we all know, in the art and cultural venue, it often has this no-touch policy. Well, for sighted people, we can still see if no touch, but for visually impaired people or elderly with low vision, it's really mean nothing without touching. And then if you go to the museum, if you can't receive the visual information by yourself, it's really mean nothing. Otherwise, you just have to constantly rely on other people to feed you the information. Yeah, so hopefully by doing this, we create more awareness to the general public, and hopefully one day the government sector will enforce this kind of policy in the art and culture venue. So no matter which museum or which art and culture venue the visually impaired people walked in, they can easily access, they can enjoy equally with sighted people. And not to mention that a lot of the art and culture venue is either fully funded by government or partially funded by government. I think they should do something. Because visually impaired people pay tax too. That's the more important point.
All right, so can you share with us a very remarkable experience while getting in touch with your beneficiary?
Yeah, as I mentioned, I invited visually impaired people to come to my exhibition. And there's one really emotional moment that happened in the exhibition. There's a visually impaired lady who are now late 20s. She's about 28. And then she lost her vision when she was 14. And happened that she's an art lover. And after she finished, she touching the Mona Lisa. And then she come to me and told me that all this while, she read a lot of Mona Lisa, heard a lot about Mona Lisa. But then when the moment she touched on this, listened on the description, Mona Lisa's face raised in her mind. So, which is really emotional to me. So, and it simply tells me that this kind of platform, not only about inclusion, okay, it's also trigger human right, it's also trigger our memories. So it is a really important platform.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and then before I go, I would like to show you briefly. So there's 5 buttons behind this tactile. I'm going to let you guys touch it later, okay? So, and basically there's one here. Yeah, if I press it.
The eyes and the smile. Mona Lisa has no eyebrows or eyelashes. Some researchers claim that it was common at this time for genteel women to pluck them out, since they were considered to be unsightly.
So it's only describe the eyes. And the best thing is, it comes with bilingual.
蒙羅麗莎冇眉毛，亦都冇眼睫毛。有研究指，高雅嘅女士拔眉喺當時嘅蒙羅麗莎挺直身坐喺木製嘅 bossetto 扶手凳上面，左前臂各自喺扶手。從佢身後嘅欄杆同埋2條零碎嘅柱估計，佢應該坐咗喺一個梁廊前面，即係喺大屋嗰度可以望見。幅畫嘅頂端以藍綠色嘅天空為主，呈鋸齒狀嘅山脈喺遠處消失，背景有一啲朦朧。9點鐘嘅方向有山巒同埋一條乾涸嘅河，3點鐘嘅方向有一條橋。呢一幅係第一幅將人畫喺虛擬景觀前嘅肖像畫。達文西係第一批用呢一種獨特視覺效果嘅畫家之一。
And then this idea has a very simple metaphor. It's like a GPS system. So this is like a map to visually impaired people. And the audio description is like GPS will tell you go right, go left. At 9 o'clock, that's a dry riverbed. At 3 o'clock, there's a bridge. So to give visually impaired people a better navigation on the art pieces. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Rico. Thanks a lot.